everybody to the Business Intelligence lecture. Today is the 2nd of October 2025. Today we will make a short lecture. I will give you a framework for business intelligence. We will say BI, okay? BI, business intelligence. So, framework with K. So how do we define business? Business is a succession of socio-technical processes which aim to increase value for a customer. Okay? This is the definition we will use when we talk about business in business intelligence. We don't know what intelligence really means, so I will leave it there. Okay? Of course, if you have any questions throughout the lecture, you can turn on your microphone and ask, okay? Also, you can ask in German, you can gerne auf Deutsch fragen, wie auch immer, okay? Jederzeit unterbrechen. So, let's see what this socio-technical matter means. I will paint here, I'm going to give you a framework, okay? This is like some theoretical frame that we will navigate throughout the semester. So this is the social level, and this is the technical level. Okay? From left to right, complexity increases. From bottom to top, complexity increases. All right? So let's look at the social level. We will focus now on the social. The smallest unit on a social level that we will look at is the human, the individual. Okay? Here, the individual needs one characteristic, which is trustworthiness. In German, Vertrauenswürdigkeit. Okay? You can look at trustworthiness the following way. You can look at trustworthiness as a balance between competence and character. Competence is what you can do, and character is who you are. Okay, so you're not gonna go to a doctor that gives you or prescribes some medicine that you don't need, even if it's a very competent doctor, just to make some profit out of the medicine, right? You're not going to go to a doctor who has a very good character and you can talk about everything with him, but has a competence from 1800s. So in order to be a trustworthy doctor, you need the doctor to be competent and have the right character. Okay? This goes for all roles we play in life. So the next level we are going to look at is not the individual level, but the trust, the relational level. Okay, and for the relationship level, you need trust. So there is one key thought here. You cannot attain trust without being trustworthy. So we cannot attain trust without being trustworthy. Okay? Which means you cannot go from left to right. You cannot advance in the social level if you don't have the base, which is trustworthiness. Okay? You cannot go from trust from trustworthiness to trust if you're not trustworthy. Does it make sense? I need you to interact with me, at least just put your thumbs up whenever I make a question, okay? If you understand what I'm saying, if you don't understand, you can also raise a question. That gives me the feeling that you're there, you're listening, okay? So you cannot attain trust, thank you. You cannot attain trust without being trustworthy. So you can think about trust the following manner. Like you are having a bank account and you are putting like trust money, trust dollars in or out. So whenever you do something for somebody, whenever you do something you said you would do, you're investing in that relationship. Whenever you withdraw trust money from that relationship, you are taking money out of your bank account with that person. Okay? So the next level is the managerial level. This is your worker, somebody working for you, your son, your whatever, right? And this is your hand. So this is the managerial level. And at the management level, what we're looking for is empowerment. So empowerment means in German Befähigung, okay? So we cannot empower somebody without trust. Second rule, first rule is here, second rule, there you go. Okay? So you cannot empower somebody without trust. You cannot go from left to right if you don't have the basis. So the last level we deal with in the social ladder is the organization. So basically all the efforts from management are guided to a strategic goal. And here is the organizational level. And here what we're looking is at alignment. Okay? So we're looking at alignment, a common direction. Okay, and the third rule is we cannot attain a common direction in an organization, alignment in a business, without empowerment. If you don't teach your people new technologies, then you will not reach your goals sustainable in a sustainable manner, I mean. All right. So the key here is we are advancing from left to right. We need to achieve strategic goals in an organization. For that, we need to empower our people. We need our people to learn more things and better and use new methods and stuff. For that, we need a trust relationship with our people, and for that, we need to be trustworthy. Okay, ourselves. So you need to be trustworthy if you want to become a good manager. Okay? So this is the social level of our social technical aspect of a business. Any questions, please? Any questions? Does it make sense? Yeah. This model is not only for business. It also works for your personal life. Okay. So if you ever find somebody that you want to like create something for the future, like some partner maybe, or some friend or girlfriend or boyfriend or something. Yeah, imagine you wanna, I don't know, like ground a family. You need to have trust in this person, okay? If this person shows up and is not trustworthy, then nothing after that will be successful. It will break, okay? So whenever you find somebody that is not trustworthy, break that relationship because it has no future. It's just dragging your energy down, okay? It's just not helping you grow. So just cut, run as fast as you can, okay? Yeah, so when this is a social level, so when we have a technical level, also complexity is increasing from bottom to top. I paint now some example from a factory, okay? So here we have, let's say, a machine. Okay, on the shop floor. Here we have the aggregation of several machines, like in what we call value stream. Here we have a factory, let's say, okay? With several such value streams, and then we have a set of factories throughout the globe and what we call the supply chain. Here we try to increase value for a customer, and the fact of the matter is that we just painted the framework, okay? So you can act on the shop floor, you can act on your value stream level, you can act on your factory level, you can act on your supply chain level, you can go ahead and act on an individual level, you can act on a relationship level, you can act on a managerial level, at all the aggregation levels in the technical. Okay, so we are going to need to develop on an individual level different strategies of communication. Imagine you have a team that is distributed across the globe. Some part of a team is in Japan, some is in Brazil, some is in the US, some is in Germany. The same communication strategies you need to use to communicate with the Japanese team are not the same that those abilities you need to communicate with the German guys, okay? Same thing happening on the relationship level. Whenever you have a relationship with a Japanese worker, it's not the same as the relationship with a Brazilian worker, okay? So same thing as a manager and so on, okay? So of course, if you are in a corporation, you need to develop different skills for different settings. This is a framework for socio-technical processes, okay? So we will this socio-technical framework, we will use this socio-technical framework in the rest of the lecture, okay, in the rest of the semester. Any questions? This could be a question in the exam, okay? Please depict the socio-technical framework and you need to tell me, paint this image and explain with words all the things that I told you, okay? So you have the video of the YouTube lectures, so you can go ahead and take your notes as you wish. All right? Again, feel free to interrupt me if you have any questions. The more you ask, the better the lecture will be. So once we have this socio-technical framework in place, we need to add a third dimension. And the third dimension is the digitalization. Okay, it has different names, but I just prefer to use the digitalization name, okay? So in the third axis, we have three phases. The first is the data. We need to gather, we need to store, we need to manage data. From data, we create knowledge. Von Daten, wir schaffen Wissen. And from knowledge, we create value. Wertschöpfung. Okay? So from data to knowledge to value. Data, knowledge, value. And this is where business intelligence is going to take place, okay? So basically we have created here a three-dimensional framework which could be summarized like this. Some vertical level on the technical side. Let me paint it with a new color. Some vertical level. On the technical side, technical level, some horizontal level for the social side, some digital level, okay? And what we have basically is like a little dice here. Depending on where we are in the dice, we will need different different communication strategies, okay? So it's not a very good, well crafted dice, but you know what I mean. Depending on where we find ourselves, we will need different strategies, okay? This is our framework for business intelligence. Is it a digitalized, socio-technical space? Okay. Any questions so far? Are you comfortable with the speed, or am I being too fast, or do you have any comments? No comments? Everything cool? Everything cool? All right. Cool. Then let's look at the thing from a different perspective. We have, as I said, today is just one little introduction, okay? The real shit starts next week. We have this guy, okay? This guy is you, the individual person. This is you, okay? This is what we're talking about. So what do we understand under individual, okay? In other words, what is for us in this framework a human being? What do we mean when we talk about a person? Because this is central to what we're talking about. We want to do business, yes, but we are people, so let's see what we mean when we talk about a person, okay? So I'm going to talk about you. I want you to frame it from your own individual perspective, okay? So this is you. And we're going to talk about a person as a 4-dimensional being. 4 dimensions, okay? 4 dimensions that are coupled to 4 needs. 4 Dimensionen sind gekoppelt an 4 Bedürfnisse, okay? So, ich male erstmal, I will just paint first the 4 dimensions. Let me just paint here 4 circles. 4 circles, and let's see what I mean with that. Okay, so 4 circles. Yeah, so the first dimension is called body, okay? The body. And the need is to live. So, die erste Dimension ist der Körper und das Bedürfnis ist zu leben. We need to live. To live means we need some shelter, we need food, we need some sort of material support, okay, to live. Second dimension is the heart. And here we have the need to love. So we have the need to have an emotional connection to what we do. We not only need to have shelter, we also need to have an emotional relationship to what we do. The third dimension is the mind. And here we have the need to learn. Okay? So we have the need here to, I paint a brain, okay? We have the need to learn new stuff that helps us get along in the world. The fourth dimension is the spirit. The spirit, which is the dimension that helps us acknowledge that we have the need to leave a legacy. Eine Erbe hinterlassen, okay? Der Geist. Eine Erbe hinterlassen, leave a legacy means, I'm not talking about money or something, to leave something behind once we die, okay? So we have the need to live, love, learn, and leave a legacy, all starting with L, so you can remember them pretty easily, right? So here's the catch. Whenever you find somebody that is not treating you as a four-dimensional being, like is treating you in the core, somebody that just treats you as a body, like because you're pretty, uses you, I don't know, as a fuck buddy, okay? Or uses you as a loving or emotional support, or uses you because you are smart on some special issue, okay? Whenever you find somebody that treats you in a non-four-dimensional manner, this person is using you as a thing, okay? So if you have some relationship where you're just being treated as a body, or as a body and emotional, or as a body and emotional and knowledgeable, this relationship is dragging you down because it's not letting you unfold as a human being. You as a human being are four-dimensional, okay? And you have the right to demand to be treated as four-dimensional in your full core, okay? So why is this important for business? Because somebody might treat you at work, somebody that has some knowledge, okay? Or you might be treated as an Arbeitskraft, okay, as a body. Or you might be treated as, I don't know, some sort of emotional supporter by a partner, right? So that relationship is not for you. Cut it, go for a new one, okay? In business, so this is what we mean when we talk about an individual, okay? So when we're talking about an individual, we're looking at this. Okay, let me paint it with a different color so it's easy to remember. That's what we're talking about, okay? Not more, but also not less. And it's important that you remember these things, because it's all about self-worth, the sense of worth you give yourself. Nobody will give you, if you don't respect yourself, nobody will give you self-respect. Okay, so if you find somebody in business that does not treat you four-dimensionally, just flip your fingers, say fuck off. Okay, just go find somebody that treats you as a human being. In business, there are people that are psychopaths. I mean, not only in business, also in the real life. Okay, the fact of the matter is that if you go around the street, like any city in the world, New York or Berlin, Tokyo, Heilbronn, whatever, around 3% of the people will be psychopaths. All right? If you go to jail, around 15% of the people will be psychopaths. If you go to high management, more than 15% of the people will be psychopaths. All right? So this is a big catch. You have a high level of psychopathy in management. So be aware. Okay? I mean, maybe you're a psychopath yourself. Still be aware. Psychopaths can destroy your life. The other thing is are narcissists, but they are not subject of this matter. Okay. So be aware of psychopaths. If you can, read some books about psychopathy, because chances are that you will meet some in your life. Okay. So if you want some literature about this, we can talk about it. I can recommend some books. And the last thought that I would like to share with you is what happens with the human brain under stress. Okay, when you're in business, you're under stress all the fucking time. Okay, so you're all the time under rain. It's raining all the time. So what happens to this guy? Let me paint a Homer Simpson here. What happens to this Homer when her brain is under stress? I mean, this goes into psychology, but I think it's interesting to know. So when this brain is under stress, something interesting happens. Okay, so the amygdala, or the place where it's like the fire alarm of the brain, it just triggers, so our hippocampus stops generating certain important neurotransmitters that will not reach this part of the brain, which is the frontal cortex. In the frontal cortex, we basically make decisions, okay? In the prefrontal cortex, we make plans to achieve goals, which is basically the part that is very active when you are in management, okay? The prefrontal cortex. And here, right on top, I'm gonna put out on my camera so that you see what I do. You can do it as well. Can you see me? Yes? Good. So if you put your finger on your forehead and you just drop it down until your eyes, you will experience a bump here somewhere on top of your eyebrows. Okay, here, somewhere here. So that place, it's called, that's an important place, it's called orbitofrontal cortex. And that's the place where, I'll stop the video. That's the place where morale is based. So this is where you have your values in the brain. So whenever you're under stress, your hypothalamus, hippocampus is very far away from, in brain terms, is very far away from the place where you make moral-based decision. Okay, so you need to be very, very, very stable from a physical perspective. Your brain needs to be very, very stable in order not to break down this connection and make decisions under stress that are not based on your morale. Okay? So when you're under stress as a manager, chances are that you will not always behave following moral patterns. And in that case, you will not be able to gain trust. People will know. Okay? So you will not be trustworthy anymore. And then the whole chain just breaks down. Okay? So be aware, if you become managers, be aware of these dynamics, because it will determine your success or your failure. Okay? Good. Do you have any questions?